Hi guys, in this video we're gonna talk about Vogue World. So, what is Vogue World? This event has already taken place 3 times. This time it was in Paris. They had a very big topic: the history of sport, the history of fashion, the history of Paris. Place Vendôme was chosen for this event, a very iconic place not only for Paris but also for fashion. There are so many fashion boutiques. I also bought my first ever Louis Vuitton bag in this place, so for me this place extra special. The show was divided by decades. Let's start with the first decade, the 1920s, the most controversial period of time. They chose to show flappers. Women became more free. They stopped wearing narrow corsets and they switched to short dresses with fringe. The women started to smoke, drink, going to jazz clubs, and the outfits that opened this decade were from Chanel. 3 of these dresses were remade from Chanel sketches from more than 100 years ago. In the same decade we saw a dress from the brand Lanvin, which referenced the swimsuit from this brand in 1924. They had 20 masters working for 800 hours to embroider this dress. In the next decade, the 1930s, we see waiters running. This is a reference to a very popular competition in France, where waiters carry a tray with a croissant, a cup of coffee, and a glass of water. And the goal of this competition to arrive faster than other waitresses and do not spill any liquids. If we talk about the fashion in this decade, the 1930s was the time of Christopher Balenciaga. We could see many beautiful archival pieces from his collection. We also saw designs from Maison Margiela, Chanel, and Schiaparelli. The theme of the 1940s was water sport. We could see dancers imitating waves. Also during this time, the first bikinis were invented. Big time. We can also see that bikinis were inspired by the water theme and they were created by Jacquemus. He was a perfect fit for this theme. Also in this decade, we can see the first big celebrity, Sabrina Carpenter. I was assuming she is going to perform, but she just walked for 20 seconds and that's it. The 1950s were inspired by horse riding. This was probably one of the most iconic moments from the whole show. Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid were riding 2 horses, completely dressed in Hermes. Who else could be responsible for horse accessories? And I also love the patchwork of these flags. Speaking of fashion, we see a lot of famous Dior silhouette looks. The 1950s were time of Christian Dior. We could also see other designs from Maison Margiela and Thom Browne. I'm not gonna talk about every decade. I'll mention 2 more interesting decades in my opinion. I don't wanna give you all the spoilers, blah 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 blah. The 1960s were about fencing. During this decade we saw a lot of Paco Rabanne. And the 2000s were about tennis. I love that they picked Serena Williams and Venus Williams. I love Serena Williams' look in this blue off-white dress. She looks stunning. I'm not sure about Venus' dress. It looks very interesting but questionable in my opinion. I also want to say I wish they pick more athletic celebrities for every decade. For example, Michael Phelps and Tom Daley. I'm sure they will look so great in Louis Vuitton suits, and I think it will be the perfect combination between sport and fashion. Now guys, I want to give you my opinion about this show. I like this show much more than the previous show in London. The only thing guys, when I was watching this show, I couldn't help but notice this reminds me kind of a school concert, but with a high budget. Let me guys know what do you think. And there you have it guys. In this video we talk about what is Vogue World. If you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe on my channel for more fashion content. Also guys, follow me on Instagram, Dmitry Friedman, where I post a lot of OTD and funny content in my opinion of course. Until next time, stay stylish.